Hello everyone, happy Monday. It is time for another episode of Mark's Monday Minutes in Portland Real Estate. It is for the week of September 11th, and in fact this is Tuesday. I'm doing my broadcast on Tuesday because Monday was, again, September 11th, a day of remembrance, a day we should never forget. In recognition of that, I'm doing my broadcast on Tuesday, September 12th, for the week of September 11th. Now, let's go ahead and start with the 3 takeaways this week. First of all, if you happen to read the Wall Street Journal article this last weekend, the editorial about housing prices, great example of how you can skew data and just make stuff up. Second of all, buyers we're seeing are reacting to changes in interest rates, not the interest rates themselves. What do I mean by that? You'll find out. And number 3, reasonable buyers are still making reasonable purchases. I'll give you a first-hand example of that at the end of this video broadcast. Let's go ahead and start with the numbers. For the number of active listings this week, 4,265, slightly up from the following week at 4,076, but that was partly due because the last week was Labor Day weekend. So we expected the number of listings to come down and then came back up to normal. We've been sitting at this roughly 4,200 level of number of inventory since August 21st. We were at 4,227, so we're just sitting right about that 4,200 point. We're about 50% over where we started the year at 3,000, which was ridiculously low inventory. We're finally back up to a more normal number, albeit still very low for our typical year pre-COVID. The number of new listings this week, 609, significantly up from the previous week of 350. Once again, new listings were down dramatically because of the Labor Day weekend. They've come back up in compensation, and we're up to what should be normal and probably the high point of the year. From here on out, we should start to see listings, the number of overall properties, start to taper off as they sell, or sellers decide they're going to take it off the market and wait till next year. The number of pending homes this week, 367, just slightly down from 385 the week before. And the number of sold homes, 265. These are homes that sold in the last week, recorded in the last week. They went pending 5 weeks ago, so that's not unreasonable. The number of homes with a price adjustment, this is what we look at. This is about typically the time of the year. The number of homes with a $99 or more price adjustment in the last 45 days, 1,159. That puts us at 27.2%. Comparing that to the 36.1% at the national average, Portland is ahead of the curve. We are better, if you will. Fewer listings have a price adjustment than the national markets. The number of homes coming soon is at 40. Last week it was at 48. I, of course, had one of those as well. We'll get to that in point number 3 by the end. And the number of homes sold in the last 30 days, 1,760. Just tracking right there at 1,713 the previous week. We're just winding down the year. This is normal. Now, that gives us a supply of 2.4 months worth of inventory. You may have seen from other agents talking about how we ended August with 2.2 months of inventory. That's true. It's been kind of ticking up a little bit. Again, partly because just this big bolus of new listings that came on this week, perfectly normal. As long as we're under 4 to 6, which is considered to be a balanced market, we're still strongly in a seller's market. That's just how it is. Now, for the number of garage listings, the homes with a 4-car garage or larger, 121 listings on the market, 39 of which are under $1 million, or the affordable garage listings as we talk about them here on this station. The number of new homes this week, 17 new homes with a 4-car garage, up from just 4 the week before. Once again, Labor Day. Of those 17, 6 of them were under $1 million. Hey, good opportunity for buyers out there looking for that affordable garage home under $1 million. They're out there. In fact, there are a number of, again, 39 of them are out there that are affordable under $1 million. Ask me, I can get you the list. We can even show you a few. They're on my radar, so to say. Number of pending homes this week with a 4-car garage, 10 of them, 6 of which were under $1 million. And the number of sold in the last week, 3. 2 of which were under $1 million. In the last month, that makes 22 homes with a 4-car garage or larger having sold. 14 were under $1 million, giving us roughly 2.7 months supply of affordable garage homes and about 5.5 months for the multi-million-dollar homes, which is no big surprise. That's where our market is starting to slow down significantly. Our homes over $1 million. That's just as the market has slowed. That's the first sign, our large canary in the coal mine, if you will. Now, let's get to those 3 takeaways. The Wall Street Journal editorial cherry-picked some data. There was an editorial that came out and said that housing prices had fallen 13%. Well, unfortunately, that's not the case. In fact, housing prices nationwide, and in particular in Portland, are still positive. They're still higher than last year at this time. And the data that they used in that Wall Street Journal editorial was for new home construction, comparing back to April of 22 to new home construction now. In that case, this is a small segment. There has been a drop of 13% because last year in the spring, new home builders were absolutely asking a premium. They were still had worked in those adjustments for costs of wood a couple of years before, and they were still asking and getting a premium. Now, comparison, buyers have slowed down. They're just taking their time and they're looking more at resale homes, not having the new homes. So yes, for a small segment, for that new construction compared to a year and a quarter ago, almost a year and a half ago, again, cherry picking the data to make a point in which they were trying to justify government assistance and subsidies for buyer programs. Again, skewed data to get to a point that it just does not apply to the rest of us. So disregard that article. Second, as I said, buyers are still searching and writing offers. They're reacting to changes in rates, and while our mortgage interest rates have remained stable, they're writing. We had 367 homes go pending this week, 385 the week before that, and 390 the week before that. So buyers are still looking, and that brings me to my third point. I had a listing that came on this week in Oregon City. We had 8 buyers through the home on Saturday at an open house. I believe there were 7 on Sunday. We had 6 other appointments scattered throughout the weekend. We still receive multiple offers. Now, they're reasonable offers. They're not 50, 60, 100,000 over asking. They're at or above asking right in that little window, and they're reasonable, rational offers. So reasonable, rational buyers are writing reasonable, rational offers. This is really what we want as sellers and as agents, because a normal, rational market is good. People don't feel stressed out. They don't feel compelled. They feel comfortable with their decisions. And that's really how your real estate investing should do. This is an emotional part, and we try and take out all the anxiety, or at least remove a significant amount of it. How you do that? Well, talk to me. Nice, gravelly voice, comforting, consoling. That's my job. I look forward to hearing from you. Reach out to me and let's talk about next week, see where the numbers go. In the meantime, again, concluding the week of September 11th, I hope that you were able to spend the day in whatever form of remembrance you felt appropriate, recognizing all the victims, all those who were impacted by the events of September 11th back in 2001. Have a good week. I will see you next week.